Hey, Bulls and Bears, how's everybody doing? It is Black Friday, and thank you for coming back to this channel. As you probably noticed, some of you, I took a couple days off. Holidays, we had relatives in from out of town and did some family stuff. And, sometimes you just got to take a couple days off to clear your head as well. Reporting financial, economic news every day. Uh, it doesn't get old because there's just so much happening. Like every day, there's so much news to put out. I have to sort through so many different articles to figure out just a few that I'm going to focus on, unless I want to make it a 30 or 40-minute video. But I try to stick to 10 or 15 minutes because most people tune out after the first 15, 20 minutes. But anyways, happy holidays to everybody. It's Black Friday as I'm recording this. And obviously, I'm not out shopping right now, but I've got a couple news articles to go over with you regarding the economy and the strength of the U.S. consumer. Now, it is in the interest of businesses and retailers, even the big giants, it's in their interest to convince people that everybody's spending money, everybody's doing fine, the economy is strong, there's no problems on the horizon, and there's no problems here currently. And there's a deceptive headline that just came out, and I wanted to talk about that. Plus, a couple other things we're going to tie in with that, with the broader economy and the strength or indebtedness of the U.S. consumer currently. This is out of Reuters. U.S. shoppers spent nearly 3% more on Thanksgiving Day this year versus last year. Now, at first glance, you say, well, that sounds not too bad, right? People are spending more this year than last year. People must have a lot of money. The economy must be strong. People must have a lot of savings. No, savings are still in financial crisis levels as far as how much money people have put away at the end of the month after paying all their living expenses. All right, that hasn't changed. That actually continues to get worse. But when you look at inflation, inflation is up between 7 and 8%. It's actually a lot higher than that. But let's just go off of the official numbers, the number that's put out there through the CPI, 7 and 8% higher than last year. So if spending is only up 3%, but inflation is up between 7 and 8%, which is actually a lot higher than that, then what does that tell you? That actually tells you that spending dropped. It's just that people have to spend more. But if people were spending the same, then sales should have increased 7 and 8% to match inflation. See what I'm saying here? So this is a headline that's given a positive spin on the holiday spending, but it's really not positive if you just think about it a little more critically, right? I think a lot of us here are critical thinkers, and a lot of the population they don't really think like that. They just look at the headline and they say, "Wow, everybody's doing good. Things are getting better. There's a recovery happening. There's an economic recovery." All right, so most of this was online. Actually, Adobe Analytics on Friday said Thanksgiving sales hit a record $5.29 billion, even with inflation worries. Shoppers weathered the strain put on their household budget by higher costs of everything from food, rent, and continue to spend by heading into the holidays, lured by steep discounts, everything from toys to electronic gadgets. And yes, there have been some sales with the oversupply and overstock of a lot of these big chain retail stores and big box stores. So that is a part of it. I'm not really seeing prices plunge or collapse, but I haven't really seen them go up, especially when it comes to goods and products, toys, electronics, things like that. But in other parts of the economy, when it comes to housing, rents, fuel is still a lot higher than what it was just 1 or 2 years ago. So people are still feeling the financial strain. And again, sales should have went up over 8%. Spending should have went up way over 8% if people were actually that financially strong. Also, products such as strollers, speakers, and outdoor grills flew off the shelves in this report, with more shoppers taking and placing orders through their smartphones and online apps. And most of the shopping was done. Over half of it was online shopping. And we're going to tie that in with our next story, and that's going to be Amazon. Amazon warehouse workers stage global Black Friday strike across 40 different countries. Now, this is not going to be in every location. If you have an Amazon warehouse in your city or in your area, you're not going to see workers at every warehouse. But across 40 different countries, there are some strikes happening at certain warehouses. Actually, even some people out in front of one of Jeff Bezos's property. Global strike action was called for by the campaign Make Amazon Pay, who have titled protest in the busiest shopping day of the year, Make Amazon Pay Day. So these workers are obviously protesting pay that they think is too low compared to the cost of living. And when you look at the profits of the company Amazon, also they're protesting the working conditions. A lot of these workers are saying that they're being timed on their bathroom breaks. Depends on what that actually means. I mean, people a lot of times have a certain amount of time that they have on lunches and breaks. And if you want to take a bathroom break at a different time, that's not your actual lunch or break that you're allowed to legally, then yes, the company may say, hey, try to make it 5 minutes. That could be what's happening, or it could be something deeper than that. It could be that, these people are only given a couple minutes to go use the bathroom, which is not reasonable. But then some companies may say if you have to use the bathroom, use it on your break and your lunch. That way, when you're supposed to be working, when you're getting paid, you could be working, right? So there's a few different things to look at. I'm sure it's a lot more different situations in each warehouse. I'm sure it's not the same across all the different Amazon warehouses and Amazon processing centers. But we have heard stories about Amazon delivery drivers being on such a strict schedule and have so many packages, having so many packages to deliver, that they ended up, using a bottle, to relieve themselves in, things like that. Those stories have been around for years. Out of this article here, there is an industrial action planned across 40 different global cities today in America, and including states Alabama, New York, Garner. Also today, Amazon workers and activists will rally in front of a residence owned by billionaire Bezos in New York City. Protests come after Amazon was criticized for tough working conditions, including grueling hours and timed toilet breaks. Thanksgiving sales overcame inflation gloom, hitting a record of $5.3 billion. There's that article again out of Reuters. So they're putting that out there, making everybody think that everything is perfect and people are just doing so financially well that they're just spending more money. Well, yes, they're spending more on average because things cost more. And that's not even the full story. What about the cost of going out shopping, the cost of visiting relatives? This was I think the busiest holiday shopping, the busiest holiday traveling weekend for people leaving the town. We'll see how it ends up. We'll see Monday how the weekend totals ended up. But it's my guess that people are going to have spent record amounts in fuel to fill up their vehicles. And likely that'll be painted as a positive thing. Hey, look all of this! Look at all of this gas that people spent money on. They must be doing great. In the meantime, debt is at record levels, and people are going further into debt. This whole system of going into endless amounts of debt, it's going to stop at some point. It has to. There's no two ways around it. There are rescue programs and packages they can implement. They can even have a bankruptcy forgiveness program or a bankruptcy freeze where no one is allowed to file bankruptcy and no one can collect money. They could pass some sort of law. Look what they did with mortgages. And a few people may be laughing at that. Oh, that's impossible. Did any of us think that they would cancel mortgage payments for over a year and a half? Even some of these mortgages that got behind in 2020 with all the close-ups, even some of those are still not out of the restructuring of those mortgages, right? It's still happening with several 100,000 mortgages. So, we're going to see what they pull out of their hat, what kind of tricks, what kind of rescues, what kind of forgiveness, and see how long they can keep this thing going to keep the consumers' heads above water, so to speak. All right, but hope everybody's doing well. Thanks for watching this report. I know it's been a couple days, so appreciate you all coming back, and hope everyone is enjoying some time off. I know a lot of people still have to work. A lot of businesses, most of the big retailers are open on Black Friday. So I would encourage everyone, if you're out shopping, if you're just out getting gas, dealing with the public or dealing with people working today, please be kind, please be nice, please be patient. And people have to work, and they have to work hard just to put food on the table. A lot of people may not show it, but a lot of people are financially stressed. And so please be kind to those people that you call on the phone for customer service and the people that are serving you in your restaurants. Let's be kind to one another. And thank you for all your comments on this channel. Thank you for being here. I'm going to wrap this one up. Bye, everybody. Keep stacking.